What's up guys, Americana back with another video. Let's dive straight into the topic that everybody wants to talk about. Alt season, is it coming or are we cooked? Obviously, I've said it 100 times now, I'm still looking at Bitcoin to get through $98,000 as well as its fib levels. But if we do, let's talk about what we're seeing in the market that could point to alt season still being here. I promise it's not fun to make videos like this when I look like an absolute insane person calling for alt season. Disclaimer, if we get above $98,000 as well as the fibs, but typically that is when bottoms can come in when people least expect it. So full transparency, I've actually been adding a lot of altcoins to my portfolio. I'm talking about stuff that has been absolutely decimated by what's been almost a 5-year bear market in some altcoins because of the exact videos we're going to talk about in this video as well as others this week. So let's get into the video. All right, guys, first up is TOTAL2ES. So what is this? This is just TOTAL2, which is your altcoin index or your altcoins minus Bitcoin. And I think it's like your top 25 altcoins or something like that. So more your majors to slightly mid-cap altcoins. And the ES just means it does not include any sort of stable coins. So this is going to be USDC, USDT, I think DAI is in there somewhere. But it does not count the market cap of those coins. So stable coins and stablecoin momentum and things like that is not skewing what we're looking at on the chart here. So let's go ahead and dive in, starting with the weekly time frame. You guys will see me mention I did talk about sweeping like an 84K level on the Bitcoin video. Technically, TOTAL2ES has already swept that level. And it's interesting because of what we're seeing coming out of Ethereum price and Bitcoin. If Ethereum price and Bitcoin is to be finding a bottom and reversing from here, well, the low might already be in for TOTAL2ES, even if Bitcoin does go to sweep that 84K level. So that is interesting. That is something we will look out for and definitely be updating in the Discord. But nothing too much to report on TOTAL2ES weekly chart. That is the common situation on all of these charts this week, is that there's not really much to report on the weekly chart. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. We're still early to kind of potentially finding this bottom and maybe seeing some of the levels that we've talked about. So not showing up on the weekly chart just yet, but that doesn't mean we don't have reasons to be bullish. Similar to the Bitcoin video, we do have the bullish divergence showing up on the 3-day time frame. You can see it literally just a few months ago or a month and a half ago, this same divergence in the opposite direction causing us to find a bottom. So you can't say, or find a top. So you can't say that it doesn't work. No, I'm just kidding. But on top of that, bullish divergence and already swept that liquidity. Working on getting this divergence to actually flip around. Have not had a lower or a kind of sustained roll back up on the 3-day. When we did get this roll over, it kind of stalled us out. But we're able to get that divergence. And also green regime on the 3-day time frame. I pointed to that in other videos. Obviously, price is already kind of at this bottom. We're not structurally similar to being up here. So potentially finding some bottom in here with this green regime. Same thing here. Once we did price move down and we were in a green regime, we actually were able to find bottoms and have them come in. So look out for the close tomorrow. That's going to give us insight for this 3-day candle. Then hopping over to the daily time frame. Nothing too much to report on here. I think I did skip over something. Let me go back to the weekly. So sorry about that. We'll get back on track with TOTAL2ES here. That's really about all I wanted to talk about on this chart, just pointing to kind of some of the things that we could be looking, potential bottom coming in and maybe even already have found a bottom, even if Bitcoin goes and sweeps its low. We'll check back this on this one next week. But more importantly, this is the exact same chart, TOTAL2, but now we price it in Bitcoin, and this is much more important. It's a very important chart because this shows us when that same index actually starts outperforming Bitcoin. One thing you'll notice in here is what signal have we just had flash, this plus long, deluxe long, mega long, giga long, whatever you want to call it. This gold triangle, which is our best buy signal. And this is on the 3-day time frame. As you can see in here, right? bullish regime on the 3-day. We get this buy signal to come in. We do get somewhat of a sell-off, but able to hold range lows when it comes to this chart. Going over to the weekly time frame, could be working on getting our first weekly regime to come in. But again, yeah, that 3-day chart looks pretty good. Sorry guys, I keep looking for this swing model on one of these charts that could have sworn I've seen, and I'm trying to make sure the indicator is not messing up. So it'll be edited out, but I keep kind of digressing on these videos a little bit. I'm taking some time, so let me just take some time to get refamiliarized. But again, a buy signal we haven't had on TOTAL2ES priced in Bitcoin in a very, very long time within a regime that looks pretty good. While Ethereum priced in Bitcoin is looking to break out, well, if you look at my other videos, Bitcoin dominance kind of looking for some sort of dead cat bounce before potentially lower. How we can even look on the monthly chart in here, momentum still rising on this altcoins minus stablecoins priced in Bitcoin chart. And I said I was digressing because I couldn't find it. I just found it. But here is TOTAL2. This does include stablecoins. We actually have this really nice monthly to weekly swing model on currently. This same swing model caused us to, or predicted that we would take out this low right here. This same swing model that we're talking about, monthly to weekly, predicted taking out this low on TOTAL2. So pretty strong stuff. And now the same monthly to weekly swing model is pointing to taking out the candle one high at $1.7 trillion on TOTAL2. This doesn't give me a time frame of when it's going to happen, but with the confluences that we have, Ethereum price and Bitcoin and all the stuff we talked about, I could definitely see this happening, and I am positioning as if it's going to happen, still with the same caution about sort of more macro Bitcoin bear market potentially coming in. I understand the risk, actively going to be managing it. Sorry, let me find my damn TOTAL2 chart here. Actively going to be managing it, but I understand the risk, and yeah, I do want to get allocated into some of these altcoins as low as they are right now if we are going to continue on in the cycle. So pretty TOTAL2 heavy focused video. We covered TOTAL2ES, we covered TOTAL2ES price in Bitcoin, and we covered TOTAL2 itself. Everything looks pretty good. We'll monitor. Go make sure you check out my videos on Bitcoin as well as Ethereum this week and what we're kind of expecting to come out of the market on that side of things. But that's kind of how I'm looking at the market right now, what I'm looking at. If you guys have questions on anything, let me know. And as I mentioned in other videos, feedback on these videos would be greatly appreciated. I've been trying to go off script and work on my speaking and my making things easy to understand while also covering pretty complex topics and giving you guys the value that I think you guys deserve. But we're also switching up kind of how we're talking about it. We're adding on the indicators. I know this is a lot to deal with at once. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching my videos and dropping comments and likes and stuff like that. But I really could use some feedback this week on how you thought things went, and what do you think about the future and how you think things are going to play out. If you have any worries, concerns. Anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I appreciate you guys and catch you in the next one.